And we are back. It's your man, Odell, a.k.a. Artbyodell. We are joined by my special guest. Let me just give you a brief introduction. You know, brother who's hailing from the West Coast, right? Grew up in the Bay Area on Bay Area music, West Coast funk, right? A fellow military brat like myself, you know, has lived all across the country, but also, too, you know, lived outside the states in places like Italy, and Germany, so helped him how to embrace different cultures and whatnot. He is an artist and a producer, someone I've known for some years now. I've seen and watched him grow into, you know, putting together his brand and everything like that. So listen, without further ado, help me welcome my man, Dexter Brandon, a.k.a. Dzydex. How you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm great today. Great to be here, man.
Hey, man, glad to have you, bro. You know, it's funny just talking about, you know, being son of a military parent, right? And just embracing that. And like I know myself, you know, grew up in so I was born in Alaska. On an Air Force base in Alaska.
Did not know that.
Yeah, and I was spent most of my early childhood in Oklahoma. But then, you know, I claim Alabama because that's where my mom's from and went to high school. So talk about, you know, growing up military brat, as they say, and, you know, going all over the U.S. and then all over, you know, the world, and how that helped shape you.
Well, I will say, I cannot lie. My parents, I had to tell them to slow down when it got to when it got to high school. But
yeah,
early stages, it was a blessing. It was definitely a blessing. I could not experience what I did without them.
Okay.
I appreciate everything that I was able to see from growing up. I know my parents used to talk about Alameda and San Diego, and when we finally got over here, we have family in Texas too. My parents are from Mississippi.
Okay, yeah, my dad's from Mississippi.
What part?
Man, listen, my dad is from the backwoods, man. That's just, I mean, like, it's funny. The closest, he's not even from. You heard of Batesville, Mississippi?
I want to say yes.
Okay, but like Batesville is like the closest town to. It's not even a city, right? That's the closest. So that's not even really where he's from. Like, it's somewhere close to Batesville. Like, that's telling you how in the woods, in the sticks, my dad's is. Man.
I'll do you one better. Everybody that I talk to, if I tell them, hey, my parents are from Mississippi, they'll be like, from where? I'll be like, Port Gibson. They're like, what is that?
Oh, wow.
Nobody knows what Port Gibson is.
Yeah, Port Gibson. Okay, see, this is one of the places, like, I don't know exactly where my dad's from, man, but yeah, Mississippi, yeah, that's a whole other hustle, a whole other get down right there.
Exactly. But I mean, coming from that, like, especially with my family and the experience that I had overseas as well.
Yeah, because so you were in Naples, man. Talk about that. You remember that?
Yeah, I do. Oh, wow. There was a lot of dog doo-doo on the ground.
Oh, wow.
No, not a lot of grass, but we lived on a base. So when we were on the base, a little bit safer, a little bit better. And one thing I remember, some of my friends, I even remember them off the name. I had a friend named Xavier. I had a friend named Connor.
Okay.
A lot of them was like, we were like the Rat Pack.
Okay.
Like the crew.
Yeah.
We just ran around doing some crazy stuff. I remember just anytime we could just get out, have some fun, experience life, that was it. And then just the culture there, it's ingrained in me now. Like,
yeah, I mean, because also too, like, it's just from the wine, just how they make their bread, how they, you know, the meals and everything like that. Oh yeah, the bread, yeah, right, yeah. Like
I'm trying to kick it, man. Trying to kick it, but yeah, exactly.
Man, that's pretty cool, man. So, you know, you grew up, like, you know, also too, we talked about those places, but also spent a lot of time like right outside of Oakland.
Oh yeah,
right, yeah, it's great. Yeah, I just got a chance to visit Oakland and San Fran recently, man. I had never been to North Cali to that day. North Cali is nice. It's a whole different vibe, a whole different get down. I mean, I've always been to Southern California, but Northern Cali, man, was nice. I really enjoyed it. But like, you spent a lot of time like playing football. Like last time I saw you, or like interviewed you, right? I mean, like huge, looking like D lineman dude, right? Like, like what brought you to music and, you know, that whole production, man? Because like I said, I mean, I remember you walking in the studio, and I remember like, okay, I can see this guy, you know, playing, you know, lacing up on the thing. Like, but what brought you to the music?
So I will say, back in college, I went to the University of Mount Union in Ohio.
Okay, Mount Union, that's very well known for their their football prowess.
Division III, it's amazing.
It's Division III, but it's a major Division III though.
Great program.
They produce a lot of coaches.
Oh yeah, they had Coach Karras back there, and They had a lot of good players,
Yeah.
One thing I would say is, though, when I was shifting from high school to college,
Okay.
environment changed, a whole different mentality with football, everything changed. Won't say that I adjusted to it well, but I tried to adapt.
Okay.
One of the individuals that I was dorming in the same room with, or not the same room, but one of the individuals across the hall from the room I was dorming in, his name was Brandon.
Okay.
And I had a roommate named Brandon as well. So I didn't know the Brandon across the hall just yet, but he made music. So he was a producer, and he was kind of already on FL Studios and stuff like that. Me, myself, I had an itch for it, but I didn't know how to start.
How to get started.
Exactly. So it's like, as soon as my roommate Brandon hooked me onto it, I was like, oh, snap, he makes music, so let me figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So came back, it's 2012, went into December, had a Christmas break.
Okay.
Going into Christmas break, I opened up a program. I can't remember the name, but I remember I opened up the program for the first time, and it was just new to me. I was just trying to piece stuff together, make something cinematic, different.
Yeah.
And I remember going back to Ohio and showing Brandon. He was like, oh, this is kind of dope.
Okay.
So from there, I ended up meeting not only Brandon, but another individual. Shout out Son, by the way. Son, he goes by Sonwave, but he is one of my best friends, day ones in terms of music. He DJs and is amazing.
Okay.
Still resides in Ohio. Akron.
Okay.
And he just kept feeding the itch, as I would say.
Right. Okay.
And from there, I mean, honestly, it was just history. I ended up coming back and just wanting to just do it all the time. It was like that thing you couldn't get out your head.
Yeah, we all have that. Like I said a lot of times, but the main thing was, like you said, you got started.
Yep.
But speaking of production and sound, right? Like of course, we all strive for our own sound, whatever we do, right? Like me, whether it be journalism, whatnot, media, but we all have people that we aspire to as well. Like, who are some of the people that you've enjoyed and who inspired you and why?
Oh my gosh, I saw it today. There's a tweet, and I'll say his name, Sango.
Oh yeah, Sango. What's up, Kai? I've got a chance to interview Sango. Good brother.
He is by far one of the people that got me into it. Now I will say, him, Toro y Moi.
Yeah.
I know Tyler, the Creator, at the time I was really influenced by 2012 when he was about to pop.
Okay, yeah.
So I found a song that him and Toro did, and it was like a old throwback. It was called Hey You, and I remember it's like the chords, the progression. It was different from trap music at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, I really like this. Kept following him, found Majestic Casual.
Okay.
Then found Sango.
Okay.
K Tronada.
Yeah, K Tronada, yes.
Selection. And it became a pipeline. It was just ridiculous. And I remember just sitting in my room and I would fall asleep to their music.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is amazing. Honestly, shout out them and Flying Lotus as well.
Flying Lotus. But it's amazing too to see that whole new wave of artists. I mean, I'm just a little bit older, but it's funny because I think about so many dope producers, whether it be like your Premiers and saying your Dre's and stuff like that. My man Focus out there in LA, and it's just cool also too for me able to see another generation of producers who are influencing another generation of producers. So I find that as really dope. I mean, Kai Sango, really, really cool cat. It's funny too. I mean, I've interviewed him and chopped it up with him when he came to Atlanta. And just a real good brother, old soul. Saying like him and Waldo as well. Like I interviewed Waldo. We were talking about Sango and just how cool his cat is, man.
Exactly. His new tape, Waldo's new tape.
Yeah. Waldo, yeah. Shout out to that new album is fire, man.
It's amazing.
Wow. So listen, on Odell's Roundtable, we love talking about relationships, right, and how we've connected with business and life and networking. And I'm interested because I remember, like, what was it, a while back, you were featured in this Adidas ad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was crazy because, like, it was just like this Adidas ad, right, and I'm seeing it, and it also was too highlighting one of my a player from my favorite soccer teams, you want to say, Chelsea. I'm a huge Chelsea fan, and I was just like, whoa. But my thing was, like, how did you help bridge that relationship, with somebody overseas, but also too, just in general, like with this music game, because you gave example of how somebody just showing you a program and getting started. How have you done that, and to talk about that international.
Honestly,
thing.
I am so grateful for that. When it came down to the actual experience, I remember. So I did a compilation tape. I didn't put it together, but I was a part of it. I did a song off of it, And the person that reached out to me was Hannah, and I remember her saying that she wanted to do a compilation called "Feed My Soul" or something like that.
Okay,
Feed Your Soul.
Hannah from.
Oh no, she's not from Selection or anything. She was she had been.
Is she
doing
from London
stuff.
though?
No,
Hannah,
she's
okay.
from U.S. Yeah, she's
Okay.
from U.S. She was working on mostly like a small community, small niche community.
Gotcha.
I remember she was putting the tape together. She just wanted to do something just to kind of piece some artists together.
Okay.
Good networking opportunities, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I remember I worked with Lodiak as well, Brody Nevins, and when
Okay.
I made the track, I was back under Zed, XED, my name backwards.
Yeah.
So we ended up piecing it together and just making a track for the compilation. She released it, and it took a couple of months. But out of every track that was there, for some reason, mine got picked up by Joe K. And so
wow.
he started playing it all the time on his radio show.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, he played it consistently. I remember it being on the People's Choice at the end of the year. He had that. He kept saying it was one of his favorites, and he kept playing it. And people started hitting me up like, yo, the numbers on this are going ridiculous. Like,
oh, wow.
And no disrespect to anybody else, but like the way that it went viral, the margin at which it did, none of us expected. So it was like, out of everybody in that tape, for some reason mine ended up shooting out. So Salim actually ended up hitting me up, and he was like, hey, I want to use this.
He's the one that did the visual for it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, right.
Visual director, amazing.
Salim, what's his name? Salim
Adams.
Salim Adams. Okay.
Yep.
Shout out to that cat.
And I remember Hannah as well, letting me know, hey, he wants to, talk to you, just kind of piece the connection together. So I was like, I learned a big lesson that day, which is always try to say yes to opportunities. Just never turn it down. If anything, if you have too much on your plate, just be honest. But at that time, I was like, this is a perfect opportunity in my mind. I thought it was something beautiful, and it ended up being something greater than I expected.
Man, that's dope. Yeah, and I saw that. I saw you post it. I guess you had to wait a little bit. Of course, you deal with big brands and whatnot.
Oh my God.
Big brands like Adidas and stuff like that. You can't just be, popping out that you're doing something. But I remember when you posted it on your feed, and I was like, oh man, this is dope. I mean, because I'm a huge Chelsea fan. That's my club. But this also, I was just excited for you as well.
Exactly.
I mean, because you see a big brand like that somebody doing the beat for it. So I bet that was just a great experience. And
it was. I will say this. I was still shocked because it wasn't just the one video he did. They ended up using it for a ton of them. And I was like,
oh, wow.
They kept using it over and over for the segments that they were doing. And I was like, this is amazing.
Oh, wow.
This is amazing.
That's huge, man.
That
I mean, I'm just excited and proud for you on that, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Well, speaking of your music and just projects and working on things, you do have a new project that just released.
Yes, it did.
The album, the mixtape, a joint effort with Broken Phones.
Yes, correct.
Y'all have these cool names, man, too. Like, Talk about the album and what people can expect. I mean, I know I've got a chance to stream it and listen to it. I mean, a couple of tracks I really enjoyed. The Kiss track, Get It, Muse as well. So, but talking to the people about that project and what they can expect.
Well, I will say, biggest project that I have ever been a part of, I would say, joint effort with my man Sam Wakina. His family is really close to mine.
Okay.
I actually met his cousin first. Shout out to Young Apollo. And when I met him, we were just chopping it up. We kept working on music and stuff. And then eventually I found out Sam actually plays for his church. So, if he's playing instruments and stuff and we going in the direction what Kanye is doing, I was like, all right, look, I need to put some soul, some actual spirit into my music.
Yeah.
But I actually ended up connecting with him, and a lot of the beats that we made was made over the last couple of years. And then he ended up taking it and putting vocal work on it. I ended up doing the same. We directed each other. He really helped me out in terms of the structure. And I will say it's a beautiful project. It's one that I think everybody can relate to, and it's something that at the end of the day people can really be able to vibe with at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's just personal. That's all I would say.
Yeah. Personal. What movie clip did y'all get that from? Where the guy is talking to the girl about he wants to follow his passion and everything. What movie was that from?
Whiplash. I cannot take credit. That is all Sam. Broken Phones. He actually put me onto the movie. He still is trying to tell me because he also video directs.
Oh, okay.
So he.
I haven't seen the movie, but like you listen, y'all check out the album. Stream the
gosh.
project. But it's just like this intro where the guy is talking about okay, I'm going to end this relationship because I got a passion for this. You're going to try to stop me, but you got to hear it. But I was just like, wow. I mean, because I can see. it's funny. I could see a younger Odell saying some nonsense like that to a girl.
Real talk.
I might have said some stuff like that before, but you gotta hear it. I'll be mad when I hear it. I was like, wow, that sounds like some stuff that I would say, man. But yeah, it's a great project. I can see that very personable project just from the intro, the skits, just the whole project. But I like what you said too about, I guess, the most in depth, because I mean, even going down to the visuals, the photography, just the layout. I could just really, I could tell, and it shows the progression, and also shows just the work put behind it, right? Like just one of the things that I always tell people, no matter what I do as far as a project, like if you don't take it serious, you can never expect nobody else to take it serious, right? So like, it doesn't matter about like what level it's on or whatever it does. Like I always, I give Jay Black the same amount of credit as well. Like we always look at it from a standpoint of, all right, we're coming to do this from a professional level, so nobody has the choice but to take it serious. But I really saw that you used Cam Kirk for some of the photos as well.
Oh yeah. We actually went there, and I'm surprised that you even mentioned that, because like most of the stuff, like it boils down to me and Sam just like piecing what we've learned over the years together.
Right.
So he already knew about Cam Kirk. I didn't really know much about it, but then I found out that is a big place to go to.
You
can't be sleeping on stuff like that.
But that just shows as far as how serious you are about it. Like you're going to get your photos done there, and just looking at the visuals. So shout out to that, man.
Yeah, man. I gotta say, and that's the biggest thing I will say. Shout out to Sam one more time, because pictures, videos, anything photography, he actually run his own company for it.
Oh, nice.
So he actually directed the music video from Muse, and he pieced the team together and everything like that. Wow. So he's a boss.
Yeah, well, I mean, and visuals are so important.
Nowadays,
Jay Black and I talk about this all the time. I mean, I've worked on, trying to improve some of my marketing and some of my video things and stuff. You always have to just keep striving and keep pieces up together.
Every time.
You can't use the excuse of what equipment or program you have. You got to keep putting that together. Wow. So
that's true.
It's, as I look at it too, it's funny because I talked about like the first time I interviewed you was years ago. I mean, totally different space, same me. But I give you a lot of credit. I give artists like James Lewis. Y'all did some work together as well. But it's just funny because a lot of times, both of you all, you all reach out to me and sometimes ask for advice and stuff like that. And it's really cool, but it's funny because I give both of y'all credit as well, because I might, help y'all out, but y'all inspire me also.
That means a lot, man.
And I appreciate that, because I think that's part of it too, is a lot of times, unfortunately, some of the people in my generation and maybe just a little bit above me have not done the best job of like reaching back out to like younger cats.
Happens,
Or sometimes it's like a talking down to younger people. But, conversation with you and James and other artists, I feel like I've worked to try to master that of being that bridge of not talking down to somebody, but like, this is how can we help each other?
That's exactly why I love it, man. I love it, because it's like I don't meet a lot of mentors on this journey, and that's one thing, is like you got to find people you can be inspired by. If you don't have a mentor, you just got to look at the people around you. They are mentors, and you honestly have shaped me as one.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. But I feel like as much as credit as you give me, I give credit to y'all as well, because I think that's part of the game, man, is you can't learn. Like, one of the things is you always have to be learning. And the minute you think that, you've mastered it, the minute you think you can stop learning, you can stop being inquisitive, you can stop being curious, oh man, that's when you lost,
man. You
man.
can see the big head again.
Yeah. Nah. I mean, we're always learning. Jay Black is somebody, same thing when it comes to production and video. This brother's always learning. If I tell him about something and he doesn't know about it, he's like, "What? No, hold up." You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, well, "Let me check on that." You know what I'm saying? Because he's not going to be like, he's not like, "Oh, Odell, how you going to tell me something about video?" He's like, "What's that? Who's that person?"
Exactly.
So we always have to do that. So shout out to that. Now, before I go into my last question, I want you to make sure that you can provide the people with all of your social media, how they can get the project, how they can check out if you have any new projects or anything like that. But the floor is yours. Just tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
You can find us at, first off, Colossus Culture. That's Colossus with a K, KOLOSSUS. KULTURE. Shout out Cardi B for helping us with that. And then you can find me, www.dzydex.com. That's DIZZY. Dzydex.com, and my social media is DZYDEX. Sam Wakina on IG as well.
Right. And tell them how the project, where can they stream it and find it?
We actually have it in all our bios. It's pretty easy. Just go to colossusculture.com, or you can check our Facebook. We've plastered it everywhere. It's like you can't, when people do Edgewood and they plaster their phone,
Right.
you won't miss it. But yes,
Okay.
we got links for it. You can find it on Apple Music, all streaming services, Spotify, stuff like that.
Wow, nice. Now, I always like to end the show with my question of, what is your key, or what is your principles for building great relationships?
I will say I'm still very, very young. I'm learning a lot. I'm going through a transition or cipher right now, so I'm trying to build that in my character as well. But I will say the key to building great relationships is just constantly being kind. I really think that's true. I feel like a lot of times I fall in that too, because like sometimes I just want it done. It's like I turn from being a humble cat to like, yo, let's move. But it truly is being kind and being flexible. I don't think a lot of times you have to necessarily push people to a certain extent. It's just, if you can work with different people and just be able to admire the outcome, just see it through. That's all it is. Just like how you say with starting, see whatever you're doing through, and you'll find that most of the times it's a beautiful thing. So that's my advice for building key relationships.
Listen, don't sleep on this being young, but that is definitely good advice. Seeing something through is key, no matter what it is. Trust me, there's some nights sometimes I've gotten up and I've thought about not doing something, but it's like the minute I just go ahead and I'm like, no, I said I was going to record, I said I was going to do this, I said I was going to post about this, I said I was going to do this. You feel much better. But also too, being flexible, that is so true, and that's something that everybody can use. I think far too often we only think about what's happening in our orbit, right? And so the thing is that we won't allow somebody, like, in our orbit, we might want to respond to something a day later or something like that, but let somebody else do it, and you're like, got to jump off the deep end. Like, how can you not, But we all have different things, so you have to be flexible. And trust me, I've learned that. And, I think also as well is that, so many things are done through text and words, and you cannot convey things over those things. I mean, there's a lot of times where we don't even pick the phone up no more, right? So
me and Sam, we've gotten to a point where like we had to figure out a process for this project that we put together. So it's like we figured out the process, we remembered it now.
Right.
But the biggest thing was a part of that process was communication. It's like if we wanted to see it through, we had to come to a mutual understanding. Like, yo, just keep up the communication, see it through, and then that way we can be able to keep up with each other. Because we were texting details and stuff like that, texting all the stuff we need to do for the project, and when it came down to where I'm like, my fingers are getting a workout, bro. Just call me.
Nah. I used to work one of my corporate gigs, and I worked for a project manager. And one thing he used to tell me, he wasn't the greatest of bosses, but that's neither here nor there. But one thing that he showed me and that I've always taken from him, and I will still use to this day, he would always tell me, he said, Odell, he said, you always got, like, we were talking about something, he's like, close the circle. And he would always say, like, as far as, communicating something, it's like, you don't worry about over communicating. Like, you let somebody know, he's like, but always close the circle. So like one time, I think I had sent an email on something, but I didn't follow back up. And he was like, basically, you left the circle open. And I was just like, he's like, how'd you expect this person to get back to us? He said, you left the circle open. And I was like, he's like, you got to close the circle. So I always think about that no matter what I do, whether it be a creative outlet, business, whatever, think about closing the circle. So I appreciate you giving that advice, man.
I appreciate that, man.
Listen, man, we've did another show. I appreciate you checking out Odells Roundtable. Like I said, man, make sure you subscribe. Thumbs up to all the YouTube channel, man. Artbyodell, all one word. Follow me on all social media, Artbyodell. Support Live Hip Hop Daily. That's where we're broadcasting from, man. Shout out to H, doing all kind of big things, even outside of the studio. Shout out to Jay Black, Innovative Black Station. Make sure you check out his show in Black Owned. He got season 2 coming. Season 1 is done. He already did season 1. Make sure you stream that. Go to innovativeblackstation.com. But season 2 is coming, where he highlights just a number of cool Black-owned businesses all across the city. But it's Odell's Roundtable. Keep building these great relationships, keep networking. You never know who you inspire, and people you inspire might inspire you as well. So just keep pressing on, right? So I want to say thanks to Dex for stopping by.
Thank you.
You know, and listen, you tuned in to Odells Roundtable. Listen, just keep checking us out, and we'll catch y'all next week.
Hey.
Peace.